So Dr. Mary here, and I have been hearing about this woman, and my good friend, functional medicine person, Katie, has been talking to me about blood. So I'm excited to hear about this. Look at your signs here. Keeping blood the way God intended. John 15:13. Welcome, Liz. Tell us a little bit about this.
Okay, so my name is Liz James, and I am the founder of Blessed by His Blood. We are a not-for-profit cooperative, and we match blood donors and recipients for people.
Keep going.
For people,
just step back a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. For people who have chosen to abstain from mRNA technology, meaning like the COVID shot or any other upcoming shots that they might choose to come out with. And we're nationwide. We are 100% not-for-profit. We have nobody is on salary or anything, but we have a presence in every state in the United States, and we facilitate the matching among our membership. So we're modeled after John 15:13, like you said, which is no man has greater love than to give his life for his friends. And we jokingly say we're not asking anybody to give their life, just a pint in a few hours of their time. And we believe as a community that we are supposed to help one another in times of need. And interestingly, about 75% of the needs that we've been able to fill are high-risk birth moms and children. The other 25% is people who have severe anemia or cancer patients who need blood, that kind of thing. We've had a few situations where we've supplied I think we had one that we supplied over 47 units of blood over time to a cancer patient from November through July, and he is now healed. So,
Tell us why it's important to have blood that doesn't have the mRNA.
Okay. Well, it's important to have blood that doesn't have the mRNA in it, or the technology, the mRNA technology that's in it, because we feel very strongly that based upon the research that brought these things out, is it does create a factory in the body that is constantly producing more spike protein, and it changes the DNA in somebody's body. So when I went to pharmacy school, because I'm a pharmacist, when I went to pharmacy school in the late 80s, that was in the height of the HIV/AIDS situation. And the blood industry for about 18 months knew what was going on and very much hid that as a reality, and as a result, so many people were infected with HIV before they actually acknowledged it was a problem. So we believe that, you should, if you think something might be happening, it's better to err on the side of caution and let them figure out the science and what actually is happening before we all involve ourselves in the science experiment that's going on right now. But as a rule, blood itself is so interesting, and this is something that I've had very much a crash course in over the last several years. And the Lord brought me to this. This is not something that was on my radar to do, but in May of 21, he specifically asked me to preserve the blood. And I ran from that like Jonah for about 5 months. And then I was here. I mean, I knew what he wanted me to do, but I was like, I am not the person to do this because I don't have the background, the knowledge of blood. And but he equips the called. He doesn't call the equipped necessarily. Amen. So, but this is an issue in general where every single person should want directed donor blood as opposed to anonymous blood. And I'll give you a couple reasons why. So, when you have a directed donor blood, I'm giving my blood, it goes in a bag, it has a barcode on the bag, and that barcode, say, Mary, you needed blood, that blood is marked for you. It would get tested, and then it goes to you. Now, in anonymous donor blood situation, when you're in a hospital or a transfusion center, just because blood is an expiration product, you are getting the oldest blood on the shelf, like the oldest milk on the shelf. You know how they rotate at Walmart or something else? It's the same process, because blood is only good for anywhere, depending on where you're at, it's good for about 42 to maximum 50 days. And then it's expired, and so they don't want to throw that blood out they're going to keep giving the oldest blood on the shelf out. Okay, so blood, once it goes into a bag, it immediately starts degrading. And the first thing that degrades is hemoglobin. And if you're receiving blood, one of the things that you need, I mean, you're in a healing crisis at that moment if you need blood. So you need oxygen-rich blood. So if you're getting blood that's 25 to 30, 35 days old, you're getting blood that has volume, but not a lot of hemoglobin. So you've already, you're getting the volume, but you're not getting the healing mechanism of oxygen-rich that you need. That's one thing. The other thing is, as blood ages in the bag, something called storage lesion happens, and that creates an increased risk for a blood-related incident to happen, or blood transfusion-related incident to happen, and that can be multi-organ dysfunction, increased risk of clotting. You can have lung injury and other things that can happen.
Wow.
So these are things that you want to think about. Now, the blood industry is, well, let me say one more thing too. Blood is only tested for 12 things, and it's not tested for things like Lyme. It's not tested for
what?
It's not tested for Epstein-Barr. It's not tested for Guillain-Barré. It's not tested for it's not tested for parasites. It's not tested for drug content. It's not tested for like E. coli, Klebsiella, Salmonella. It's not tested for any of those things. So, and also there is a big difference between somebody who's healthy and somebody who is not as healthy when they're giving blood. So if you want your best outcome in a transfusion situation, it is best to rely on somebody that you know is healthy giving blood. And we do know our friends and family. You know, the blood industry argues, oh, your family will hide stuff from you and not tell you the truth, which makes it more risky than ever. And I'm like, well, then you don't have a good relationship with your family or your friends. But the other thing that we do here at BBHB is we are very much advocates legislatively, and this legislative session or season, we've been working with 11 different states because the blood industry itself is trying to shut this down. And the reason they're trying to shut this down is because the United States supplies 70% of the world's blood products.
What?
Yeah, right. And so from there, on top of that, only when they collect blood in a community, as a rule, only about 20% of the blood actually stays in the community. The other 80% is sold overseas, just like I said, or it's sold to big pharma, or it's sold for research. And in big pharma, in the late 1990s, there was a class of drugs that came into being. They're called biologics, and biologics has rapidly expanded. In fact, it's the fastest growing class of pharmaceuticals because they're not really drugs. Biologics mean bio-live. They're created from
a lot of skin conditions are treated with
right. They are created from live cells. So an estimated 10 to 20% of biologics are made with human blood. So that's something to think about too. And it's like the blood industry takes something that is given away altruistically, they spin it into gold, and then they create a biologic from this. And in addition to that, like Botox has human albumin in it. So that's so there's another avenue, right? And IVIG, Rogam, all of those are human blood origin, right? But back to the biologics. Biologics are also probably the most lucrative class of pharmaceuticals out there. And so they take something for free, and then the average consumer who's on a biologic, either they or their insurance company, is paying on average anywhere from $30,000 a year up to over $1 million a year for the biologic that was created from from human blood. And again, it's not every biologic, but an estimated 10 to 20% of biologics. So it really does behoove the consumer to know, when a doctor writes for something, that you know exactly what you're getting.
Right.
So these are things. If I was giving my blood to you, Mary, that eliminates, and the barcode had your information on it, they would not be able to take that blood and sell it to Big Pharma, which means they can't, like if my blood had something special, unique, or was a higher quality, they would not be able to cherry pick it out of the community and say, we're selling this. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
They would not be able to.
So explain how this works.
Okay, so Blessed by His Blood, we're a not-for-profit cooperative, and we match blood donors and recipients. So if you needed blood, you would give us a call, and you would already be a member, first of all.
Okay.
And we would match your blood within our community, and we would also walk you through the process of how to talk to your medical professionals that you're dealing with so as not to create a hostile environment, because that can very easily happen. And we would walk you through the process. We would set up the donors for you. We are only $25 a year for adults. That's a year, not a month. We're doing this not as a moneymaker for us. We are doing this because it's the right thing to do, and we're trying to protect the blood that God gave us. The children under 18 are free, and adult children who still live at home because they have a disability are also free.
So let me clarify. So I paid $25 a year. My
Yes.
husband, my 2 children. Okay, so
$25 for you and $25 for your husband.
right now they're under 18,
Okay,
so they would be free.
free,
So
yeah.
for $50,
Yes.
if I needed blood,
Right.
I could connect with you,
Yes.
and you could help. But can we donate?
That's
Okay.
well, that's what I'm saying. We're a cooperative, and we work together as a community. So God forbid that you should ever need blood. But the reality is 1 in 70 people need blood or need a transfusion every year. And so you may get a phone call from us someday that says, we've got a match in your area. Are you free to donate? Would you be able to donate in the next couple of days?
My doctor wants me donating.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
For women
Yeah.
over in menopause,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
good thing to do.
Yes, it is.
So this is wonderful. I'm very excited. Is there any details that you think? Oh, I have a question.
Okay.
So someone who's not vaccinated wants to give blood, but say someone's like, oh, I didn't know and I got vaccinated. Can they give blood?
So there are other organizations. There's a handful of us. We're the only not-for-profit.
Okay.
There is a couple of for-profit organizations for people that have, you got the shot, but then are like, I wish I hadn't done that.
Yeah.
They won't. They can't. I mean, anybody can give blood.
Right.
Like the Red Cross, all those. They don't care who's
Right.
vaccinated and who's not. But like in Safe Bloods, that's another organization that is for profit, and they're quite a bit more expensive. And especially if you actually need blood, it's quite a bit more expensive. But you can't give blood, but you can receive blood, but you can't give blood.
Okay. So for someone like me, are you just talking about that one mRNA shot?
Yes.
Okay, because I had some when I was a kid, but haven't had them for...
All we're talking about is the shots that contain the mRNA technology that purposely change your DNA.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all we're talking about. However, on our intake form, when somebody is applying for membership, we ask quite a few questions, and so for somebody who maybe has been on these biologics, if we ask for the name of the biologic and then we evaluate that, I'm a pharmacist and my case manager is a nurse, and we go back and we look at the origin of the cells. At that point, they can still become a member, but we might list them as recipient only, because again, we don't know what we don't know, and until things are all out in the clear on what exactly is happening inside human blood cells, we want to be careful because we know we're here to help other people be as safe as possible.
Awesome. And people can give to your organization too.
Yes, we have Algro and GiveSendGo. Algro here is tax deductible, and then GiveSendGo is it's like the GoFundMe kind of thing. So
that's good that you have the tax deductible.
Yeah.
That's really great. This is wonderful, Liz, and this is your information. If people need to connect with you as the founder and president, and they can go right online. Do you have the website?
Is www.blessedbyhisblood.com.
Blessedbyhisblood.com.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.